Hello, I'm the and welcome back to the video. Today we'll show you something quite interesting because it is what map sharing would look like if it came to Minecraft console. This is something I realized recently that I'm in this very unique position as a YouTuber where lots of people want to share their maps with me in particular anyway, so I can check out a bunch of maps if I put out a tweet like I've done saying please do invite me to your game so I can see what your worlds look like, and this is just random people showing me their random worlds, but I wanted to show you just how great, the creativity of Minecraft console could be, the great differences you can see between different building styles, and even if you're curious about or skeptical about map making, maybe off this video you won't be, and if you are 4J Studios, or Microsoft, or anyone like that is watching this video, hopefully you see this and you think, wow, there is so much unexplored creativity, this is why we need to make map sharing a real decent part of the game. So in today's video, that's when we talk about and sharing with you all, hopefully you all do enjoy it, you can leave if you do, but let's get straight into the first of the, let's say 5 or 6 random maps, just the first 5 or 6 invites we get. Let's see what the first of these are, so we can just show you some random worlds. So let's get straight into it now. So this is the first world, which as you can see is in the plastic texture pack, and it comes in from Skittish Zulu, like the name by the way, and yeah, by the way, I quite like this is also an opportunity just to see some random subscriber worlds, because it's something that, like people are always asking, me to check out, and I'm always like, let's see exactly what's going on here. So this is a creative world. It looks like, again, it's a plastic texture pack castle. Maybe it's a custom map because it's got this kind of long corridor. Let's see exactly what is going on here. So yeah, as you can see, okay, it's something sort of murder, maybe murder mystery, I think is the game mode that this is based on. So someone's built this map for this game mode that's fairly popular on YouTube, just because they want to, like have people see this thing. But again, there's no current way for people to share it properly, besides to get people in the game, like I'm doing right now. So again, this is, it looks like it's a castle-based map with just lots of like hiding places and stuff. Isn't this a wonderful little thing that someone's just built in creative? Even though this isn't the most like visually impressive thing in the world, when you see it, you're like, oh yeah, this is like a full-on castle, and it's presumably going to be a little bit of a maze. It's got a courtyard, it's got like a thing to explore. I think it's a pretty wonderful little first build. I'm enjoying my first opportunity to see it, and it's the first of the several builds we'll see today. And again, I think without saying anything bad, even a build like this that's fairly small and fairly limited in its scope, it's still pretty interesting to see. This is something I'd never build myself that I can now see with map sharing. Again, just a random world like we're trying to prove with today's video. So this is the first world. Let's move on to the second, shall we? So this second world is quite interesting because it looks like it's modded already because I've got a piston head in my inventory. That's right, just the head of a piston. I don't know how I spawned with one instead of a map, but apparently I did. And then also, it's called Extreme Dungeons with 2 of these weird little portal things. They're doorways, but they're portals to other parts of the map. So yeah, it looks like someone's been playing around with the mod tools, which again, something interesting you'd never be able to see if you don't download maps yourself or you don't mod maps yourself, which 99% of players cannot do. So let's go through these teleporters, which do look to be genuine, where as you can see, they've got this like PC style spawn of a, like a server, and isn't this, I guess it's server style spawn, and I think this is like a pretty interesting thing to look at, and wow, this is, I've never seen a beacon arranged just like this, but this looks amazing, doesn't it? The red, blue, green, and then like the white in the center. That's a really interesting layout for a beacon that now has been inspired to do, because I've seen it just over here, but it's also, I think, a great looking spawn in terms of like, oh yeah, you look around and each of these, 4 things has a logo, they're going somewhere. I think they all look great in their own little ways, and that's kind of wonderful. So I don't know how much of this is actually like a playable world, like if I can just play this Extreme Dungeons thing or not. So let's find out actually. Let's go play Extreme Dungeons right now. Let's see whatever's going on right here, because they've clearly made their own minigame. Oh, it's coming soon. But they've clearly made their own minigame, it seems like. Last battle, not recommended for new players. Maybe I shouldn't do that. But yeah, let's, as you can see, there's actually, oh, player versus mobs. There is a campaign mode to this. They've got this crazy, like, thing going on right here. And let's see exactly what it is. So I don't have a sword or anything like that. Okay, UHC mode's coming soon. Right now, we've just got endless mode. So here is endless tier 1. Okay, so as you can see, it's a very in-progress map, but the fact that this is so heavily okay, so Ocean Hotel or Spawn Town. I think Ocean Hotel, sure. Let's see what's going on right here. So by clever use of teleportation and like having stuff be separated like this, it means they can actually have a map which is done this particular way. So let's start the round, shall we? Oh, we can't. So let's see what happened if we did start the round by going through here. So as you can see, it's a zombie with dual wielding enabled. Oh, okay, instantly dead. But as you can see, pretty bizarre stuff if you ask me. The fact that, like there's this whole custom game mode set up by, this person with all these little weird mods with this amazing setup spawn. And yeah, it shows how you can, I assume it's a classic size world, it might not be, but presumably this entire, because it has mods on, it's presumably based on a 360 world, which means that they had all these different areas carved out and they can use their world to such a giant degree, which you normally wouldn't wouldn't be able to do, and that's inspiring in itself. The spawn, this spawn area is amazing to look at. That's inspiring, and just everything about this world I look at and I'm like, wow, yeah, this would be amazing if other people could experience this, because right now, presumably, you have to be friends with Mr. Extreme Gamer 350 to see something as amazing as this. I wasn't expecting to see something this big and great so early on, but it is something we've seen. So let's go on, let's go back, and let's accept some more friend request messages and stuff, and let's see what other worlds we can find. Again, these are just like random worlds we're kind of hopping into as we go, and let's see what we find as we go onwards. So next up, let's find out. So next up here, I have Clark Kent 614, and it's a survival world, which is a distinct break from the rest of these on the list. But survival worlds aren't something that you wouldn't want to see with map sharing. I mean, I think you'd see less of them because there are less, giantly impressive, worth sharing survival worlds, but that doesn't mean that there aren't any that do exist. And here is one such example of a survival world which has been played and played and played to absolute craziness. And as you can see, this is a world I believe I might have visited before because I've spawned in a very weird bit of it, but there's some crazy stuff going on here. So let me show you a few examples of what I mean by crazy stuff going on here, because although this spawn area is like a bit weird because there's some beds and there's a bunch of chests where I believe there's like a bunch of everything in the game, but there's also this area right here, which as you can see has been cut off by the edge of the world in such a bizarre, strange way. But yeah, I really love this thing because it is just again, this entire place has been mined out. It's 100 by 100 if I'm not mistaken. It's this just like ridiculously sized area that has been mined out, but there's also some other bizarre like kind of projects that you'll see as we head around here. So here's what it looks like underneath, in case you're curious, just destroyed all the way down. And I guess it's like the Destroyed Chunk project, but like on a much bigger level. And also with this kind of pretty surface, so it doesn't just look like it's the Destroyed Chunk, it looks like it's something kind of real here. So there's also something else, if I'm not mistaken, as to what this world is. It's going to be tricky to get there, because we have to walk on foot, I assume, and that's probably going to kill me. But if we go all the way over to here, past this other, again, slightly destroyed desert, it looks like there's a lot of destruction going on here, which again, you can experience kind of naturally. We've got a desert well, we don't see those too often, but I think, yeah, this world is just filled with like bizarre things you can check out, and I think the one of the interesting aspects of the idea, I guess, yeah, the interesting aspect of like being able to show in a survival world is any like kind of let's play world you've seen on YouTube, any kind of big famous survival world, you could actually see it in survival and kind of experience what it's like for these people, because some people look at this and they say, I would never do, I never would be able to do that because it's going to take like, how many thousands of days, whatever. But if you want to just see what it's like in survival and not just see a video of it, which you can still do on YouTube for whatever, oh, look at that, it's a really long way down to the bottom there. But yeah, you don't necessarily just have to limit yourself to, being able to see, oh, should we take the horse? Okay, so I'm assuming this isn't going to be saved afterwards, so I will take the horse with me. But yeah, the fact that you could see these sorts of worlds, you won't just have to like settle for a YouTube video, which is still kind of a cool thing. I hope you enjoy watching the YouTube videos I make and that all these other people make. But also, there's the idea that, oh yeah, well, if you wanted to be able to explore it and see what it felt like, you could. So what is this thing? This is a thing built in survival out of a mountain. Isn't this nuts? Like with the redstone mechanism, if you wanted to see how it works, that's a thing you could totally do. Like you just have to press a button and get in here somehow. Whoa, isn't that wonderful? And yeah, this is a thing that you can totally, ooh, there's an activatable nether portal, it looks like here. Isn't this just a crazy thing to be able to see? It's a mountain that's been hollowed out and replaced with like a weird redstone base. Crazy stuff, right? And yeah, you can experience this in survival. I kind of want to get out here, honestly, so I'll press the button one more time and I'll see the rest of the world, because there's, it's like a sequence door. They activate in sequence. Oh, that's kind of interesting, right? But yeah, there's also other stuff around here, like look at that giant castle, there's a spawn island above there, there's a giant house. All these things have been built in survival, and although, again, some people might look at that and say, well, it's not quite as good as some creative stuff, I really love seeing this sort of stuff, and I think a lot of you might as well. But yeah, this is just one such example. I'm gonna leave my horse over there, just in case it is important, near the big Illuminati pyramid, which, again, little bit suspicious that it's a giant triangle with a circle going through the middle, but I guess that's also the Deathly Hallows, isn't it? But yeah, let's move away from here into the next world. So here's another survival world I have in fact seen before, and perhaps you have, or perhaps seen it before, because it's one of the like giant projects that has been done on Minecraft console, and it is the Operation Bedrock world by Sword King 090. So, or 090 I guess, but 090 is how you say that. So with that said, basically I wanted to kind of talk about and show you this world a little bit, because it's one of the things that, again, you would be able to download with a map sharing thing and see for yourself, because most people barely believe this when they first see it. They're like, this thing can't be real. There's no way the entire world has been mined, at Bedrock, but there has has right now 3 layers. That's about 1 million blocks per layer, by the way, so about 3 million blocks have been mined at bedrock, but that's not where the crazy destruction and just like mastery of survival ends, because there's also been torches placed all along that, so there's just this epic kind of just scale of like torches, 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 and there's also a bunch of skylights around the place. So if we keep running it in any direction, eventually we'll find what is, again, I believe it refers to as a skylight, where it's just a giant like 50 by 50 mined out entire chunk, and that's what the entire world would eventually look like. So I think this is going to be one just over here, if I'm not mistaken, where you can see the bedrock. I think this is, again, I'm hoping so at the very least. I think if we go very close to this, we'll see not only some beacons, because again, the game's been mastered to that level with like hundreds and hundreds of wither kills, but also you'll see these things. These are not an uncommon sight in this world. There's a bunch of these around the place, and this is what the whole world is going to look like. That's what it's being worked towards, and eventually that's what people will be able to download, which is pretty crazy if you ask me. So as well as that, and as well as the whole world being destroyed bound bedrock, there's a few bizarre, like challenges and bizarre things being built around the place. So for instance, here is what used to be a hole in the world. Again, it goes down a lot lower than you should be able to through bedrock, and you used to be able to just fall out of the world. There's a lot of like bizarre stuff this world just because of how mined out it is. Again, the Minecraft console kind of expects you'll only mine out a certain proportion of your world, but in this particular case, it's just, had so many blocks changed that it causes genuine issues on a regular basis, which is pretty great. This is a world which like pushes Minecraft consoles to the max, and if you want to push Minecraft consoles to the max in survival, bear in mind, again, entire thing built in survival, this would take you so long to build in creative, let alone doing it in survival, then that's something you can check out like this. So the top of the world is relatively untouched because it is a world focusing on the bottom, but you do see every now and then there's like, oh yeah, this is a weird biome that doesn't exist anymore. Like, what is this, a frozen desert? Yep, that's right, frozen desert, a biome which, again, literally is not in the game anymore. There's a bunch of crazy stuff like this around the place that you'd be able to experience and experience again with custom worlds like that. So is that like an above ground house? Did they? I guess there is a little bit of above ground stuff because there's stuff going on over here, and this is a thing you'd be able to explore and check out if being able to share worlds came to the console. So we'll do one more world as just an example, hopefully a creative world, and we'll leave it at that, shall we? Okay, so this is perhaps the last world we'll visit today, and as you can see, it is a creative world one more time, and this is a creative concept of like making their own jungle, it seems. Oh wow, it's Yoda riding a horse. That's pretty cool. But this is a creative concept of making their own jungle and then making their own houses on top of it, because some people want jungle houses, some people don't want the effort of going into survival doing so, and some people don't want the effort of even finding their own jungle. I actually do like the idea of like making your own jungle so you can do it this way, and as you can see, this is what they've done. So it's a bunch of different jungle rooms. In fact, I've done a few jungle houses in my time. It's a pretty interesting thing. As you can see, they really hate the wither, so they've killed it a bunch there. And yeah, this is this is a concept of like the jungle house. And even though you might look at this and say, I'm not going to use this as a creative map or anything. It's someone just building a house. You can still see, even with a world like this, where it's there's some decent number of houses in this, but you can see how like, oh yeah, this is kind of inspiring. I'd love to build something like this in survival. And by seeing, I've shown off some great maps for creative. I've shown off some interesting maps for creative. I've shown off maps you can play game modes in. I've shown off survival worlds that make you want to check them out, and this is a world you can look at and you can still get inspiration from. Look how well this thing right here is like curved around, like as you can see, it's orange stained glass into iron bars. That's a bit of inspiration you probably would never be able to get without seeing it in someone else's world, like you could do if you could download this world and try it yourself. Now if you look around and you see like the way these roofs are covered in, like they're not solar panels, but they're essentially solar panels, it actually is a really nice aesthetic that blends quite well with the jungle wood. And yeah, when you look at all of this stuff together, you can kind of just get some inspiration. No matter how big, no matter how small the world is, there's always some form of inspiration you can take from other people's worlds, and this is why I think map sharing would be amazing. I've shown off 6 maps today, 6 random maps. Again, you can see how the types of maps, the quality of the maps, everything about the maps has gone up and down as we've gone along, but you can still see how just random maps have yielded all of this. Imagine if we could see other people's maps, we could see everyone's maps, we'd be able to see so many things like this, and we'd also be able to see so many like of the best things, like things that are better than what I can think of, things that are better than any of the people I've seen today can think of, anything that's better than what you can think of. We'll be able to see the very best content the Minecraft console has created, if there's any form of rating system alongside that, and imagine that, not only being able to see your friends' maps, not only being able to see some strangers' maps, but being able to see some of the best maps ever made for Minecraft console. That gets me excited personally, and I hope it gets some of you excited as well. If you did all enjoy this video, you can like it and let me know, because it helps out the channel and lets me know you do like this sort of video. Share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if subscribed, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you very much for watching, and bye. Maybe that should go in the video somewhere at the end, like just for a frame or something.